Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakal Kadash, giving double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, peace and blessings of the Christian truth and sincerity and abide above. Alright, it is the brother Napash Kadash from the GMS Cleveland branch coming at you with another video. Alright, and basically what I'm coming at today is I'm on the RT News app, and there's something caught my eye. Alright, how Russia and the U.S. have been having these like little go back and forth. You know, they've always been known as enemies too. All right, in the water starting to boil. All right, because these are the two superpowers of the world, and you also have China coming up as a third superpower as we speak. So they getting ready to uneven the battlefield. All right, and let's just read and see what's going on. All right, it say Russia's embassy in the U.S. has demanded clarification after an unnamed American official was cited in a report stating that the U.S. forces are providing weapons to militant units in Crimea as they launch attacks on Russian troops. All right, so basically what's going on is a Russian overheard some Americans speaking, basically talking about how Russia's dealing with these little military groups, basically doing little terrorist attacks, things like that, what they would call terrorist attacks. All right, and they're really having little proxy wars and things like that. And they hear that the U.S. is basically giving them their weapons. All right, it's not the first time something like that happened. ISIS got their weapons from the U.S. and so forth and so on. America is known for manufacturing weapons and selling them to whoever wants to buy them. America could be at war with Russia, and America would sell Russia weapons. This is just how they are. All right. It says the embassy said it treated the statement with grave concern in a social media post on Thursday, asking Washington to provide further details as to whether American weapons were being passed to Ukrainian fighters carrying out class clandestine operations in Crimea. Unnamed U.S. official speaks about their country's support of terrorist activities in third countries. In this case, they talk specifically about Russia, the embassy said on Facebook. And, quote, this is what he said. If it is true, we then demand the U.S. side to clarify whether or not Washington directly or indirectly has facilitated the SBU, Ukrainian Security Services, in organizing terrorist attacks against the people in Crimea. Published by the NBC News on Monday, the report in question certain on allegations that Moscow had paid bounties to Taliban fighters who killed American troops in Afghanistan, a claim that first surfaced in June New York Times story. However, buried in the article 12th paragraph, an anonymous official, as is customary in U.S. media, is cited as saying the U.S. intelligence had assumed a bounty program existed, and it is believed it was a proportional response to the U.S. Army of Ukrainian units fighting Russian forces in Crimea. All right, and basically I read a lot, but basically what it was getting at is rumor here, rumor there, rumor of war, rumor here. All right, basically the Russians and the Americans claim they don't want nothing to do with each other at the end of the day, but you have the Americans. Somebody here is giving Russian enemies weapons, and what Russians is asking is it your government or is it one of your citizens? Because if it's one of your citizens, you deal with it, but if it's your government, it's going to be a problem, is what Russia is saying. All right, because like it said it was quote unquote terrorist attacks. All right, and that poses a threat to their country, and this is one of those signs of the end times, because what this is going to lead to is the Russian-American War in the Battle of Jehoshaphat, which would be known as today as the Middle East. All right, and just to prove what I'm saying right here, I'm gonna pull out this scripture. This is Revelations, chapter 17. It says, where do I want to start at? Okay, I'm gonna start at verse. Uh, I'm gonna start at verse 10. This is Revelation chapter 17, verse 10. And there are 7 kings, and 5 are fallen, and one is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the eighth, and is of the seven, and goeth into the perdition. Remember the beast. Remember that it's a parable for something. It says, verse 12, and the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. The beast is NATO in the EU, and the 10 horns represent certain power heads. All right, if you following along, you get what I'm saying. All right, this verse 13. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. That's talking about the Israelites. The Israelites are the Lamb. All right. For he is Lord of lords and kings of kings, and they are with him are called and chosen and faithful. All right. All right, Shalom. The lamb represents Yahweh Shai. That's why it says Lord of Lord, Host of Hosts. That's who the lamb is actually speaking about. All right. Verse 15. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest with the whore sitteth. The whore is Babylon the Great, America, United States of America. Called Halo Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai. It's 1144, 144. All right, but it says the whore sitteth are people. Verse 15. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, Babylon the Great, the United States of America, sitteth, are people and multitudes and nations and tongues. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. All right, so these other nations is gonna turn on Babylon the Great, because the beast is NATO and the EU. All right, the National Atlantic Treaty Organization, I believe, NATO. Yeah, National Atlantic Treaty Organization. And the EU, the European, the European countries and things around that area and such. All right, but what I'm getting at is the beast. It said the beast is gonna hate the horde. The beast is NATO and the EU. The horde is Babylon the Great, America, United States of America. So if those two are allies right now, what does that mean? They're gonna turn on them. They're gonna turn on America. All right, because look at what America did through the years. They basically influenced other countries to be like them, or they was gonna start a war. All right, and now that they down bad, it's a perfect time for other countries to attack, which is coming very soon. It's coming extremely soon. All right, other countries are starting to notice the bullshit that America be on. They noticing that they push these certain agendas. I ain't gonna say which ones, because they like to flag videos. All right, but they have the Sodom and Gomorrah agenda they pushing. They have the Jezebel spirit that they pushing. All right, these are things that they pushing. If you know what those things are about, look them up in the scriptures. All right, they have the riotous men agenda they pushing. They have the wicked man agenda they pushing. All right, and older times is what it would be called. All right, let me pull out a couple more scriptures. It say, let me see. This is Second Ezra chapter 15 verse 15. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. It's not one people standing up against another. The two superpowers of the world are literally going back and forth right now. All right, they got the most nuclear warheads. You think those is for show and tell? No, it's not gonna be no museum in 2040 saying we almost had to use these. It's not about to be like the Cold War. This is really about to go down this time. Those missiles is gonna be shot off, and they gonna burn Babylon the Great. If you don't know what Babylon the Great is, just rewind the video a little bit, and you'll know. Babylon the Great is getting ready to be burned by these intercontinental ballistic missiles. All right, like it say, look what it say right here. This is Revelation 17, verse 16. Uh, bring it from the top. It say, "In the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, NATO in the EU, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire." Burn her with fire. Hey, ain't too much got to be said about that. And then you come here, Second Ezra 15 and 15, "For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands." All right, so what they gonna be fighting with? All right, it's not gonna be a literal sword. What's the modern day sword? A gun. And if you want to get even deeper into it, the modern day sword could be a missile. Why? Because it's an instrument of war. All right, because you're gonna have attacks here and there. You're gonna have wars here and there all over this place. But the missiles is gonna be the end game. All right, when they had enough and they like, well, this war ending today. Yeah, and this and that gonna happen. But ultimately, Yahweh Shah is gonna come back. But what I'm getting at is these other countries is getting ready to turn on America. All right, and let me grab this in Matthew's. I'm gonna probably close it out with this one. This is Matthew's. This is Matthew 24, verse 6. "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." All right, so we know this is one of the signs that are coming. All right, the rumor of wars is here and it's been here, but it's a matter that it's still going. It's not ceasing. If it was ceasing, that means the end of days wouldn't have started. And we've been in the end of days, like Apostle Jahar said, for a good 2,000 years. So how much longer do you think we have here? All right, verse 7, for it say it say, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. All of all these are the beginning of sorrow." This is how we know we're getting ready to get out of here. You have the other countries starting to turn on America. All right, are there not famines slowly growing and growing? Are there not people rising against each other? All right, this thing is getting ready to get serious. But with that, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakal Kadash, giving double honors to the Apostle Ezra the Great Millstone. Peace and bless the Lord's truth and sincerity, and abide with the Lord.